CBA changing things. Hi, CBA! Ouch! Sheesh! Wait, do I still play Chain? Okay, no. Nice! Favorite map slot unlocked. Yes! Let's go! Damn! I've done a T17! Let's go! I beat the game! Hey guys, and welcome to a new video. Today I want to give you guys my final update on this Trinity charge stacking, power charge stacking, Slayer elemental hit of the Spectrum. And oh boy, I really like this build. This is so much fun to play. It's actually probably one of the top mappers that I've ever played, and it is even capable of doing all the invitations. I've done the Fear today. I've done my first tier 17 map today, so I finally unlocked my 5th map slot device. So this is something untypical for me. So usually on league start, or at least we are still like, I think day 8 of the league or something, usually I buy a carry for the Feared, I buy a carry for the 5th map slot device and stuff like that, and the Void Stones on top of that, right? This league was different. I've done everything by myself. I did my Void Stones with my Bleedbow Gladiator, and when I moved on to this build now, I did the Feared, and I also did my first T17. All the regular non-Uber Pinnacle bosses. I even did 100%, now actually 200% dailies with this character, and it has been an absolute pleasure to play. There has been lots of upgrades and lots of PUBing on this build, and we haven't even, like, probably the build is on, I would say, like a 30% of the damage that it could technically have if you invest more. And with the invest more, and I'm talking now about probably 500 divines or something, you want to get like a better wand. I decided to drop the void battery because a wand like this is probably like a 30 to 40% more damage than the void battery, just because of the amount of flat damage. You have to understand power charge, stacking, frenzy charge, endurance charge, brutal charge, the way I build it up with the increased damage per power charge and stuff like that, endurance charge, you know, we have so much percent increased damage, we have so much percent more damage, that we need a good amount of flat damage. That's the reason why Ele-Hit of the Spectrum works so well with this. But adding another ton of like flat damage, but triple damage wand over here, that just outperforms the void battery, outperforms a lot of other modifiers like percent increased damage. And this is like the tinkering that I had to do, where I say like, how much percent damage per charge do I need, how much multiplier do I need, because at some point, you know, you can just open PUB and say like, hey, let's disable a 40 crit multi and a 10%, what is actually more DPS, and turned out the multiplier was more DPS in the end. So I bought a new Timeless Jewel, and there's like many ways to optimize that. But you know, I don't see myself farming another 600-700 divines to min-max this build. I would rather just move on and just play something else, and then keep on doing the same thing as I do every league, where it's just like you know, creating a build, level it up, gear it, do the content that I plan to do, and then just, yeah, play it for a couple days. And this character, currently level 95, we had actually killed over 300,000 monsters. D&D clear before some trade messages come. And yes, as I said, it is so much fun to play. But what would be the upgrade, since I talk about like a couple hundred divines extra investment? I do not have a power charge ring. The one that I got from the ritual, I sold to invest into something like a Supreme Vision, for example. That was like more power gain for the divine spend. The last upgrade would actually be power charge ring with the essence with frenzy. I need a curse, additional curse, badge of the Brotherhood that would save me another 4 skill points, which would end up probably even more damage just because of the crit multi-nodes over here. We are now spell suppression capped. We are ailment immune. What else would there be that would be nice? As I said, like a high level, or at least like a better crafted one, probably through the league mechanic crafting, like a 6 times T1 crit multi attack speed kind of thing. I do not have a Forbidden Flame Flesh yet. That will be the what is it? The Arena Challenger charges to give this build even more speed and more damage. And it is actually crazy what the scaling of this build could technically be. And as I said, for the stuff that I've done now, it has been an absolute joy to play this build. I would say let's run a map showcase, and then we talk about more in depth about the PUB and things you can do with it and stuff like that. Do we have another? Yeah, let's just do like my standard farm that I currently do, which is a ritual deli kind of thing. So let me quickly get 2 of these now, and 2 of the deli thingy. Deli. So this is basically the Atlas passive strategy that I linked before, which is basically a cemetery with a ritual deli kind of like tree. And now since I got the 5th map slot device, I can now run double ritual and double daily rewards. And I gotta say, the daily rewards are actually quite interesting, because, and not the ritual ones, because not only did I get the power charge ring, I also got like a claw with the physical, the fire damage per strength and stuff like that, a couple of divines left and right. So yeah, so what did change on the build? So basically I put away the returning proj, because everything pretty much dies in a one hit, and the returning projectiles didn't do a lot, and I felt like with GMP, it just feels like a lot better to clear. I still like Chain more, and I still run the Wisps, because I think the Wisps are like both. They are like a clearing enhancing tool, and they're also helping for single target, which is super nice to do. And but with the returning projectiles, I have no idea how to calculate that. Like, if you would go for Uber bosses, which I'm pretty sure this build can do, but I'm just too, yeah, I just don't see myself spending, like, I don't know, 5 divines for an Uber boss just to test it, you know? That's why I also didn't put in any intelligence tattoos for the chaos resistance, because in the end of the day, why, if you know that you're done with the build pretty much and you want to go on to the next, like, why spend another 5 divines or 6 divines for additional chaos resistance on your tree, because that currency is kind of gone when you play and level up a new character, right? But as you see, with the Wisp, with the Chain, with the GMP, with all these kind of things, the clearing is so good, and we have an automated Berserk with the Chaos Spirit Gloves, with the life regen that we get from the replica Restless Ward and stuff like that. The synergy in this build is just so freaking good, and is yeah, I can just recommend playing a build like that. I think it actually got cheaper to start now, just because the Ralakesh Impatience Boots dropped quite hard in the price, so did a bunch of other things. So realistically, and I'm saying about a build that can map tier 16, you know, the more gear you add, the better it gets, especially once you start adding the power charge things, right? But realistically, for setting this character up to farm tier 16 maps and then grind your way up to like the GG items, I think like a 20 divines should technically be enough, because I didn't have more either, and that was when the Ralakesh boots were already like 18 divines or something, right? So to get this build going, all you need is the Ralakesh Impatience boots, the badge of the Brotherhood, and you need to be a slayer for the was the masterful form node, right? But other than that, the rest, you know, sky's the limit, and you could easily spend like 10 mirrors in this, and I'm wondering, I think, at least I have not seen any Ele-Hit build that is stronger than what I'm playing here, because not only does this character have like a lot of damage and was able to do a tier 17 map, I also did 100% Deli. It is tanky, it is fast, you know, it has like way higher like ceiling, in my opinion, than the a typical Deadeye build, because I feel like these Ranger builds, they're just super squishy, you know? And this build with like an automated steel skin with the berserk, with the less damage taken, you know, the 11 permanent endurance charges that I have for the physical damage mitigation, it just feels very, very good to play. And I don't know if I ever had a mapping character that was able to do 100% daily without Headhunter, right? No Mage Blood, no Headhunter, no nothing of that. Just an ethical, well-rounded beast character. And I think the map is pretty much clear right now. We have 2 monsters remaining. We got here another memory. I'm gonna loot this later on. So let's stop the daily. Let's see the rewards over here. And they just bulk up, you know, all these like daily orbs and stuff like that. We get 72 simulacrum splinters. Bunch of beautiful loot here. Not saying that this is any specific crazy good loot, but you know, it just sums up. And when you start selling your daily orbs in bulk and your simulacrums and stuff like that, it quickly ramps up. Let's see if we get something into the ritual. Doesn't seem like Chinsol. Activate here my out of war cry. That's the first thing I do when I leave a map. Is just like deactivate that. Cloak of Defiance is couple chaos. The thing though is I don't like to pick items like that from the ritual, because I want to reroll and see if I get something crazy good, you know, like synthesized items, maybe an apothecary card, some nice synth base, a nice fracture and stuff like that. So that's why I usually just move on. And when I'm on the last side, like here, I cannot reroll anymore, then I usually just take whatever I think might be worth it or not worth it, and yeah, pretty much, and then move on. So this is basically how I do it. Good. As I said, what were the key takeaways if we take a look at the path of building? So this is what I currently have. I finally managed to get like a Megalomaniac with Enduring Composure and Storm Drinker. Storm Drinker, I think, is one of the very, very few ways where you can get Energy Shield Leech as an attack-based build, you know? The pen and so on, like whatever, but the lightning damage leached as energy shield is the core part. So now, not only do I have life gain on hit from my Watcher's Eye, so from the Discipline mod, I also can now leech the energy shield. So this is like, it sounds a bit low with 2.8k life and 900 ES, so it's not really a lot of EHP, but as I said, was able to do 100% daily, was able to do a T17 map, I was able to do the Fear Deathless, so, you know, it's not like a build that you can just face tank everything, but it definitely has enough like EHP and recovery to get through a lot of these kind of things. So let's talk about the brutal charge sustain. Brutal charges, or endurance charges in that case, are very hard to sustain just because there is no endurance charge on hit. There is one for stun, but as a wonder you're not gonna stun. But the thing is though, I built in an automaton with the with Enduring Cry, which helps sustaining. So this is just like automatically going off basically, right? So every time this Enduring Cry hits monsters, you're gonna get the charges. Then we have a shield charge with endurance charge on melee stun. So when you're traveling around and shield charge, your shield charge can also give you endurance charges, or in that case brutal charges, thanks to the belt. Another thing that we have is I have now just a one link Forbidden Rite. What I do here is I just use it one time, I hit myself, and now you see that the endurance charges are going up thanks to the Enduring Composure. Gain 1 endurance charge every second you've been hit recently. And while you're mapping, since we don't have a lot of evasion or anything like that, we get hit quite often, but we just have a lot of damage reduction, right? But every time we get hit, this Enduring Composure goes off and just permanently sustains our triple charges, basically, the brutal charge. And for bossing, as I said, one time hitting your boss with a shield charge or with the Enduring Cry and anything like that, or just get hit by something, you're just sustaining that thing, and I think this was like a very good solution to that. Then, what else did I change? Yeah, this is something with the Timeless Jewel, right? And here I want to say that specifically, there is many ways that you can do that, right? For example, the one that I had before was a massive Thread of Hope. Let me quickly put that in to just show you how this is done, right? So we put in here a massive thread of hope. This would basically give you those 2 nodes, right? And if you go further, you could take this jewel slot over here and put in an intuitive leap. So we can basically take these 2 nodes over here. And this is better, this is like the better pathing, just because you get the all resistance over here, and these like increased duration, stuff like that. Is not really necessary. So we have like the supreme, impossible escape, so we can allocate all these nodes without being connected to them, same as the intuitive leap. And now with the brutal charge, you see how many nodes we can actually get through here, right? And all you do now is find Timeless Jewel. You're gonna pick the Elegant Hubris. You want to have Caspiro, so we're gonna remove all the stat requirements, because it's rough to get enough strength and enough intelligence for all these kind of things, right? And the mods that you want to look for is the damage. Let's type in charge. It should give you the increased damage per frenzy charge. Then we have the increased damage per power charge, and then we have the increased damage per endurance charge. They are all equal. Then you can put in something like critical strike multiplier. You press filter nodes. That means it will only apply to the stuff that you have currently allocated in PUB, right? And here you have one that is not really that good. Wait, something, no, not acrobatics. We're gonna pick the conduit. There we go, surge. This looks a lot better. So this one would have 5 times % damage and 1 time multiplier. This one has 5 times % damage, 1% multiplier. This one has 5 times damage, 1 multiplier. This one has 4 times damage and 1 multiplier. This one, you know, there is so many very, very good ones. And once you have that, you're just gonna, because you always have to check if they are available, right? So if I go find Timeless Jewel, I click here on copy trade URL, right? And what I do usually is I need to check what is on the market. This one, 1 divine, 1.5 divines, 3 divines. They are definitely affordable. But what do I do? Because thinking about I have the best one in PUB, but it doesn't exist and nobody has it, neither on or offline, doesn't do anything, right? You can put them on live search, but if they ever come up, I don't know. But now I could say, hey, this one, 79,200 is 1 divine, so let me quickly check. I go in my list here, 79,200 is this one over here. I double click it, it adds it in PUB, then I can click on that. And now I can check the nodes, okay? Increased mana region, I don't need that, so I can save the skill point. Multiplier, really good. Fist damage is useless. Damage per power charge. Evasion rating per frenzy could be nice. Then we have another damage per power charge. Here is damage per endurance charge. This is 80% increased armor. We don't really have too much armor. Then we have here damage per power charge and increased spell damage. So, and here we have another flask effect duration, and here we have critical strike chance. So this is like, for 1 divine, you get like an insane elegant hubris, right? And this is super easy. And for example, if you don't, if those 2 nodes are trash, you just remove your, you just remove those points. You don't have to worry about that, right? If those 2 nodes are trash, you can remove those as well. And the way I did it in the end, I wanted to spend the least amount of points, so I don't have either of those, and that's why I only have like 2 times % damage and like 2 times multiplier. But one thing that I added here is mine has chance to avoid being shocked, and as we know, chance to avoid being shocked can be converted into ailment immunity thanks to a Storm Shroud. So I thought like, this layer of defense is something I just don't want to pass out, right? But you can definitely just go ahead and just say like, hey, what else should there be? Chance to avoid. Avoid being chilled, avoid being shocked. And now you just check one that has 1 time, like this one. Double damage, 1 time multi, 1 time avoid being shocked. You know, like, there is like plenty of those on the market, and I just hate it when I see in the comments, yo, he's got a Timeless Jewel that costs 500 divines or 25 mirrors or something. It's one of a kind, and if you don't have that, it's unplayable, right? And every time I check for Timeless Jewel, I always buy them for 1 or 2 divines, and they are not like the Omega Giga best in slot. They're just like insanely strong, and I get them for 1 divine, you know? So don't worry about that. You just make yourself a favor and just check them manually, and you're gonna find a really, really strong one for 1 divine, and that's about it, right? So what else do we have here? Secrets of Suffering, still the same. I would definitely recommend getting an Enduring Composure as a small cluster jewel if there is no Megalomaniac, and one with a Storm Drinker if there is a Megalomaniac, because like Storm Drinker, there is so many cool notes there, like chance to deal double damage, increased critical strike chance, some ally damage, maybe Sublime Vision, not Sublime Vision, the where you get spell suppression and ailment avoidance, and all these kind of things, you know, and there's even like ailment avoidance on one of these small notes over here, right? Good. Tattoos. This is something I added slightly. So I added a bunch of like global accuracy and spell suppression to get me capped. But I still have like, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, probably 10 or more dexterity notes that I could use for anything that I want. And I can use all these int notes over here. It's like 14 in total for chaos resistance, for anything that you like. As I said, I did not go the way because I knew, okay, today is the last day of the build and I'm gonna level up a new character. So I did not want to spend 4 or 5 divines for tattoos if I don't plan to play this build for any longer, right? Good. The wand we set, rings we set, anything that caps your resistance, life, accuracy. I think this one was actually very, very good. That's why I even bought a Calandra's Touch to mirror them. But thing is, you know, a power charge ring with the essence with Frenzy flat is just insane. Crown of Ice is still the best in helm slot, the best in slot helmet. I PUB'd with like a very insane double power charge helmet with all kinds of modifier, and it's still like a fraction of the damage that the Crown of Ice gives, just because we have so much spell damage that we get from the Crown of Ice. And yeah, there is just no way around it. You can, as I said, take the increase in reductions to spell damage. Is like 100% multiplier. Here is 150%, but it also gives you life leech, mana leech, you know, accuracy, all the good stuff. Relicash Impatience we said in the previous video. Ally Weakness, double curse, as I said, curse corruption on the Badge of the Brotherhood would be insane. There is even better combinations than what I have here, and yeah, we're spell suppression capped, we're element avoidance. I think I described everything. If you want to know anything more, if I can help you, then please let me know in the comments. MTX doesn't really matter too much because this is like a legacy set, but before that I was using the RBG set. What is it? Screw it, I always forget the name of it. Transcendence? Yeah, the Transcendence set, which is like the RBG set that I had in the previous videos. Good. Damage. Damage is something I have a hard time calculating, right? So there is a lot of like support gems that do work. In my single target setup, I use barrage support and ally damage, right? I think Sacred Wisp could be there anywhere. There is still the option of returning projectiles, and like the wisps and the returning projectiles do not get calculated over here. So what I did is I added a 50% more damage multiplier for the Sacred Wisps. I think this is correct, might be not. There's also the way where you can like get like 40% more damage with the returning proj, but then there is the tornado, and projectiles can like explode on a tornado and hit the boss, and there is I don't even care. I know what I've done with the build, and it doesn't really matter to me what it says on the DPS. I think with a min-maxed version you could probably get about 200 million DPS is what I can see this build if you have like really good gear, and if all the calculations with the wisp and the returning projectiles and the tornado and the explosions and chain and pierce and I don't know what else works, and it's probably even more DPS than that, which is an insanely fast mapper, super fast, tanky, dual leech, blah blah blah, all the good stuff, and it can do uber bosses on top of that. I think that's kind of a statement. Yeah, I think that is pretty much it with the build. I don't know what else to say about it. I explained how this entire build works in the first video. Yeah, and yeah, that's it. Alright guys, thanks for tuning in, thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.